Hello everybody, welcome to Pixel World VR. I am the Pixel fan and I will be your guide through this journey we're about to take, where we go to a Best Buy and try out the new Meta Quest Pro. Onto the headset, I would say the form factor of it was, the design is sleek, it's cool, it's sexy, whatever. It feels light. A lot of people are comparing the weight to the Quest 2, and I'll just say they're comparing it to the weight of the Quest 2 without all the accessories that we put on the Quest 2. I would say that I didn't feel anything that resembled weight when I held it in my hands. It felt light and it felt sleek. And then when I put it on, I would say it is a new realm. They're entering a new realm of comfort, man. Like, I'll admit that the material I don't think is the best for 8-hour day. I'm not saying it's going to be irritating or anything like that, but hygiene, man, this is what I'm bugging out about. Because you take it off and you can see all these greases and secretions and stuff like that. It's like, I gotta wipe this thing down. I'm sorry. Let me wipe this down, because it's just, I don't know. I wish they had like some kind of rubber or something like that, silicone, something like that. I guess somebody's gonna make up some kind of accessory to cover that. No pun intended. But so the form, the fit and everything, I think, apart from what I said about hygiene, you can wear this thing for a long time, no problems, hands down. It's very light. The way they distributed the weight feels perfect. Yeah, it's great. It's great to wear. It's great to have on. You feel like you've leveled up. But then you get in there, and you start out in the home environment. Maybe, your eyes kind of play tricks on you, because I'm a little bit biased. I was excited to go and touch this thing, this brand new thing that they created. And but what I was going to say is that the resolution felt, and I don't think it has a higher resolution. Anyway, it felt more crisp and more clean. I didn't get a lot of the dithering and the noise and the screen door that I normally get. Maybe, like I said, maybe I was starstruck. I didn't have a Quest 2 with me to compare. Now, was it a monumental difference? I don't know. Because they're saying you get a bigger sweet spot, which means more of it will have denser pixels, and you get a crisper image in a larger area, and you don't have to adjust it as much. And I think that might be true. I think I was feeling that a little bit. It was supposed to have like 35% more pixels per inch. So I was feeling good about that. And I would love to test it on a PC VR experience and see if there's been a great improvement. But I think I'm going to have to buy one to do that. And a lot of people are. So maybe I'm going to have to check out what they got to say and then make that leap, But anyway, let's go on to one of the items that are pretty controversial right now, and that is the pass-through. The pass-through, obviously it's better than the Quest 2. The pass-through is better. Now, is it, what do they call it, augmented reality? Are you looking through like a 1080p camera or a 4K camera and everything looks real? No, obviously not. But they said it's 4 times the resolution of the Quest 2, and I would say that's a big step up. Obviously, it's 4 times the resolution. What more do you want? Now, is it worth $1,500? That's a discussion we'll have a little later. But I didn't try the Pico's pass-through, but I've heard I think it was a guy from MRTV, Mixed Reality TV, saying that the Pico's pass-through was better. So I don't know. What I can say is that, um, if you're just using the straight up pass-through, you can get around. Things do have kind of like a depth to them. You're not going to be bumping into chairs and stuff. But I was looking at the guy who was orchestrating the whole thing, and he was kind of warping a little bit, warping and stuff. And I was like, and then I would take it up and I would see like a crisp 4K TV over there, and the picture was so beautiful, but I put it down again, and I'm like, it's kind of hard to tell what's going on now. So don't think you can watch TV and stuff like that through it. But what I will say about pass through is that when the apps were running and your focus is on the 3D items that compromise the app, whether that be that new Google Maps type app, or you are working with objects, like either doing art or you're working with a 3D object in there, that your focus is on that object and the objects looked good. Like I had a little astronaut floating, I could make him bigger or smaller. That looked good in contrast to the background. And you know how the human eye works, you're only focusing on a certain area at a time. The rest is already going to be a blur, and we don't think about that, but that's the way, because the body is so efficient. Which I'm not going to talk about the face tracking and eye tracking because I didn't get into that, but I'm kind of bummed that the eye tracking and the foveated rendering thing is not really a thing right now, even though it's part of the headset. Maybe it allows future developers to work on that and make it better, and develop apps that utilize that potential to have like a super crisp, high resolution image in this our focal fovea area, and use less of the computer's resources. I hope that comes. And I hope it comes with the Quest, the Meta Quest Pro, because you know how Facebook works. They're gonna release this thing. It's gonna seem like a test pilot, like a CV1 thing. It's gonna seem like that in the beginning, but in like a year, which should be when the Quest 3 releases, but in like a year, or maybe let's say 6 months, just to cut the Quest 3 out of the picture. In like 6 months, we might see some heavily updated software for this thing that is going to be separating it from the Quest 2 in ways that we never imagined. Because they're always brainstorming over there and releasing new stuff. Now they've got this other branch that they'll be releasing stuff for concerning the eye tracking and the face tracking, And, oh man, and while we're on the point of resolution, the Pancake lenses, now I will say this, the Pancake lenses compared to the Fresnel lenses, yeah. Because in the Fresnel lenses, I'm just looking into my headset, not even having it on, I can see the rings. And when I put it on, especially when I'm watching like YouTube in there, which I've been doing a lot of lately, or, oh man, you guys should try Amazon Prime lately in the theater. Yeah, and that's on my Quest 2. You're in a movie theater watching Amazon Prime, and it feels nice. They did well. They did a good job. Good job, Amazon Prime. Yeah, but in the Pancake lenses, there's none of that. No rings, no nothing. It's just clear. That alone, I mean, this is a big step up. That alone, getting rid of that, the ghosting and the lights shining through, especially when you have white text and stuff like that. And I'll be honest, I went in twice. I went in Saturday and Sunday. But I will say on Saturday, yesterday, the text in there, you can read the text, it's great. They definitely wanted to make sure that reading text, writing text, stuff like that, anything to do with text was not going to be a problem. So think about that. Obviously, you're not going to make some professional grade headset meant for the work environment and not be able to handle text. So, and along with that, we do have more depth in the resolution, even though they'll say, the resolution is very similar to the Quest Pro, but like they what do they got, that dot layer underneath there, and this thing that makes the contrast 75% more effective, and they got the more pixels per inch, so you're gonna see better things. I don't know if it's worth. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let's get on to the light bleed coming in. Now, when you're using mixed reality, it's not even an issue. It's a non-issue. It's irrelevant. I'll just say that. But when you're trying to use an application that is supposed to be closed to enclose you into another realm, into a VR area, virtual reality space, it's a problem. So if you're planning to get this and start banging away on some games, you're gonna be kind of pissed. So I don't know if they've released that facial interface, if they're shipping it yet or not. Now I hope the interface is solid, especially for $50. I hope it's like foamed up and then covered with silicone or something like that, like not a hard foam, but a foam with a little give, and then covered with silicone so that it's got good hygiene. So I'm hoping that it's something like that. Hey, we're shelling out another $50 on top of the $1,500, which really kind of feels like this small little slap in the face. What's $50? I mean, is the margin that tight? Was the margin that tight that they couldn't throw that in there? I mean, it better have some substance to it than it. Anyway, so if you're doing mixed reality, to recap, the light thing is not an issue. If you're gonna play a VR game, I would say it's unplayable. At this point, there's no way I can sit through any kind of closed VR experience with that much light. Even with the side blinders, I can't do it right now. Maybe it'll be different for you. I'm just saying that's my experience. And then the performance or the sound. Let me touch on the sound. I was in this meditation app, which was a closed-in VR experience, and it was weird. Although the visuals were great, but I felt like I was looking from afar. I tried adjusting this. There's something up here, I think, that brings it closer. I tried adjusting that, but I don't know. I felt like I was looking from afar. It could have been just that there was the light thing underneath there, but I felt like I was far away from the actual action. And then, so the light bleed was a problem. But the sound of the person's voice that came, I think I noticed a difference, a level of difference between something I would hear on the Quest 2. So maybe they said that the voice can go an octave lower on the Quest Pro, and I think I was noticing more of a bass response from the speakers, so, and I hope it's even better on headphones, because I'm more of a headphone type of player or guy, so we'll see. We may see if we actually buy the thing. I am so on the fence, which I shouldn't even be. This should not be. We'll get to that anyway. So the performance I can't really touch on. I didn't see any stuttering or jittering. I didn't really do anything to tax it, and I don't really have any way to measure the metrics. Although I can say it seemed very smooth. That's all I can say. And then let's touch on finally the price. I'll say it's high. The Pico 4 Enterprise is coming in at $1,000, and I think there would have been a lot less pushback from the public if this had come in at $1,000. Although what I can say is the HoloLens and the Varo and other high-class headsets, they all cost more than the Quest Pro. If you look at it that way, and can the Quest Pro do what they do? I don't know. Resolution-wise and picture-wise, I'd say no. Although I don't know if what they can do software wise to help that. Which I will say that software wise, they can improve the pass through because they are actually taking a picture and then rendering something out through the software. So I would look forward to a crisper, cleaner pass through in the future. You can mark my words on that because that's what they're all about. They're continually, iteratively improving things, you know. But yeah, I know I guess you could say if you want to hang out with the big boys, you gotta wear your big boy pants. Maybe this price is like them putting on the clothes, putting on the appearance of a big boy, so you can class it with their competition, what they want their competition to be. They have to put it in that price range, or you can say that it literally costs them this much and they're not even trying to get much of a margin, which I wouldn't just throw out the window either. It might be that it costs them this much, and it might be R&D costs, it might be materials costs, because the thing, like I said, it's like a little Lamborghini of VR headsets. I'll be honest, when you grab it, I wish it was white though. I got nothing against black, but I wish it was white. Like I love these white headsets. But yeah, do I think the price is fair? Obviously, I want it to be lower. Does that just mean I want it to be lower so I can buy it? I don't know. It doesn't mean that exactly. It means I think it's too raw and too new and doesn't have enough of an identity, doesn't have enough of a leap up in technology to warrant a price that high. If you know what they could have saved this with, if they had actually made the resolution like the Pico, like 4K resolution. I think it's 4K per eye. I don't want to say anything wrong here, but 2160 by 2160, whatever. That would have helped a lot. It would have come along. It would have and also if the pass through had looked a little cleaner. But like I said, I think that will improve the pass through. So if they had just done the resolution better, spent more money in that, and put a 1500 on it, it would have still hurt and made people mad. There would have been uproar still, but people would have kind of been like, I can't buy it, but I understand. You know, people would understand a little bit, but I don't think they understand. I kind of don't understand, especially with the Pico 4 Enterprise coming in at like $1,000, even though nobody can get their hands on it. Apparently, it's only for if you're like a huge Chinese enterprise company or something, then you'll make the VIP list and be able to. I don't know if it's under the control of the government or something like that, but it's going to be hard to get your hands on one. It's going to have to be some black market affairs going on if you want to get that Pico 4 Enterprise, which seems to do everything the Quest Pro does, except it has a higher resolution. I don't know what to tell you guys. All I know is I will say what's going to be the difference between the Pico 4 Enterprise and the Quest Pro is that the ecosystem, the software ecosystem, the games, the companies that they have partnered with, basically the OS and the software, you're going to have a difference. There's going to be a level. Meta's been in this for a while. You know, they're kind of been championing this thing for a while. And they're smart people. They got the researchers, the R&D. They're like grabbing all the smartest people from everywhere, all the Einsteins. I wonder what the average IQ is over there. So yeah, Mark Zuckerberg is a smart guy, obviously. I mean, if you want to measure intelligence by bank accounts, I mean, apart from the trust fund babies, you can say the guy's come a long way on his brain power. Better than me. So I'm not one to make fun of people if I can't match what they've done, you know, but at the same time, focusing so hard on this face tracking and eye tracking and enterprise business aspects of things, I mean, maybe he wants Meta to the Quest, not maybe not the Quest Pro, but the next version to be in every hospital, you know, with surgeons and stuff like that, or I don't know, flight simulators for the army and all that. Maybe he wants it to be everywhere. He just wants to get everything, but and then you know the Quest line and the Quest Pro line will be they'll diverge, and the Quest line is going to be for gaming and solely for gaming. You know, in that case too, it makes me think maybe the gamers should hold off on this headset, and it is going to be hard because I think we are all been itching for a new headset at this point. Although the Quest 2 is great, I think we've all been a little bit antsy, especially for some reason this Christmas season just felt like the time to me to get a new headset. But maybe it's not the time. But if you got the money to throw around, I don't think this is going to be something that only lasts you a year. I will say this right now because this Sadly's Bradley guy showed me the specs for the Quest 3 on his videos, which I've tried to watch every one of them to get as much Meta Quest Pro info as I could. And it looks like they're not going to have eye tracking or face tracking. I don't care about face tracking, I'll be honest. But the eye tracking really made me excited because I wanted foveated rendering. I wanted to play Half-Life Alyx in the Quest 3 with foveated rendering, where everywhere I looked is where the image picture quality was great, and then they could save all this processing power and make it look so good in the sweet spot. But it looks like the Quest 3 is not going to have that. So then, let's say they start developing foveated rendering stuff for the Quest Pro, huh? I mean, until the Quest 4 comes out with eye tracking, which by that time maybe foveated rendering and eye tracking would be perfected, or you know, better streamlined and better and more energy efficient. So that looks like a 2-year roadmap at least, maybe 3. Well, I'm guessing more like 2. But now is the only chance you'll have to play with it. And maybe there'll be side quest apps and stuff like that that allow you to capitalize on that. So it's really like a curiosity thing right now. A mischievous adolescent curiosity thing that I have with the Quest Pro. I know it's not for me and I know I shouldn't buy it, but I got something on each shoulder, not my headsets, a little devil and an angel, and I'm just like, what do I do? I kind of want one, you know, and it looks nice and it feels nice. We'll see. Maybe I'll have to eat ramen for a couple months. That's all I got, guys. And if you're still with me, I'm obviously gonna have to cut this video up because I rambled a lot. But welcome to Pixel World VR, and I am the Pixel Fan, and I hope you enjoyed my thoughts on the Meta Quest Pro. And hey, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time in Pixel World. Goodbye.